Ignite is an ongoing series of speedy presentations. Each speaker gets only 5 minutes and 20 slides that auto-advance every 15 seconds.
From Taekwondo to science. Now, if you don't think that science is sexy, you should have grown up in my household. With 2 parents who were scientists, I learned that things like melanoma cell locomotion were as interesting as last week's football game. And I also learned something else as I got older. I found out that a lot of scientists are afflicted with something that I call science speak. They don't speak normal English. A lot of them don't. The ones that I've trained had 2 problems. Number 1, their research was their raison d'etre, and they wanted all audiences to find out everything they knew in 10 to 20 minutes. And the other thing was that they forget that a lot of their words are very long. Words like dimethyl fumarate. It's the same thing to our ear as the cat is on the bed. That's 6 words, right? But for them, it's only 2. And so they have to learn to be very careful of long sentences so that they can communicate. But there are some scientists who are very good at communicating, and we're about to meet one now. Sahar Khoury is a roboticist and a data analyst. She has a keen interest in science communication. Quite recently, she was the runner-up winner in the Zurich Science Slam, which is a platform for science communication where young scientists are given the opportunity to present their research projects in a short format, understandably, entertainingly, and concisely. Tonight, she's here with us to talk about the ultimate unknown, Sahar.
Last month, I met a person for the first time, a scientist actually. And after a quick hello, I got the following question. Where do you come from? A standard icebreaker, I thought. And while looking forward to an interesting, pleasant conversation, I replied, I come from X. What struck me at this point was the sudden change in the scientist's facial expressions. I realized that this was no standard conversation. So I took my hair away from my forehead and started to prepare myself for being labeled, comes from X. I knew that my thoughts, my dreams, my opinions, the way I think or talk or walk or dress will all be seen through one single label, comes from X. At this point, the conversation continues, and I started to prepare myself for the most interesting reaction. Again, I took my hair away from my forehead in order to make sure that my label is still clearly seen. And here came the answer. Ah, X, nice. 1 sentence, 3 amazing words that were actually the end of this pleasant conversation. Ah, an interjection used as an exclamation of surprise. Then, X, the ultimate unknown. And nice, an adjective used to express a pleasant, delightful event. I was amazed how the ultimate unknown was only considered as a pleasant, delightful surprise by a scientist. If Einstein has found X nice, mass and energy would have remained unknown to each other, and they would have never discovered their equivalence. If Newton has found X, nice. Objects on Earth and celestial ones would have never known that their motions are driven by the same principles. If Alexander Graham Bell or Antonio Meucci have found X, nice. With no means of communication, people around the world would have remained isolated from each other, unknown to each other. Instead of describing X as nice, I would have expected this scientist to try to relate X to other variables. Maybe there's an equivalence between X and Y at the end. Or maybe the histories of X and Z are driven by the same principles. In other words, I would have expected this scientist to try to put X into an equation, to try to give X a value of its own. Instead, I remained a nice unknown, and remained nicely unknown my thoughts, my dreams, my opinions, the way I think or walk or talk or dress or eat. Luckily, this time I was the nice unknown. But hey, the unknown can be scary, frightful, or just unpleasantly different. At this point, I put my hair back on my forehead to cover my label and walked away an unknown. Disappointed in some people, but confident in science, in its magic that chants, don't fear X. Face it, understand it, learn from it. Only then you could surpass it. After all, life is nothing but a series of X's that move around intriguing wise. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Stay here for a moment, Sahar. Sahar. The Zurich Science Slam that you recently did so well in. What was your project?
I talked there about robotics.
Robotics.
Yes.
So a roboticist clearly is somebody who works with robots.
Yes.
Yes. Are these Swiss? You laugh, but it doesn't have to be that way, believe me. Are there robots in Switzerland that you work with, or are you working with very special robots all over the place?
Yeah, the robots we work with, they are in the lab. So
okay.
I did this research at EPFL.
Okay.
And we have some humanoid robots. So they have humanoid robot. It's a robot that seems to have the shape of a human. And my research topic was on robotic hands. So I was interested in how to control robotic hands or prosthetic hands in a way so they can grasp and manipulate objects the way humans do.
Oh, absolutely fascinating. Zurich Science Slam, it sounds like it's worth a visit. Thank you so much, Sahar.
Thank you.
Thank you.